Okay, so I asked Ed to hold back his thoughts on Redfall because Redfall is feeling like Anthem right now. I didn't even correlate the two until I thought about it a second ago. Yeah. Redfall, I feel like we were all excited about it when we saw the trailers and it looked cool. Obviously, the first ones we saw were all CGI, just, you know, but then even as they started working stuff, working gameplay into it, it felt like, okay. And then you look at Arcane and you're like, okay, well, I know me and Ed just love Deathloop. I loved the first Dishonored. I tried to play some of the next one. People loved Prey and stuff like that. So you're like, okay, yeah, it's not like this is Blue Box Studios presents, you know, Redfall. And so, but man, oh man, the only headlines I'm seeing are it's awful. Like that it starts like really good foot forward and then just falls in generic town really, really fast. And then obviously you hear some of the, it just doesn't play well. And so a little bit of that is, you know, did they have to hit a certain street date to get some of the money out of it? You know, we talk about games
it had already
being
been
broken.
delayed like a year almost.
It had been delayed, but we also talk about games launching broken and how we're like kind of getting used to it and day one patches and stuff like that. And I think it was actually Survivor where they were like, hey, get ready for a big day one patch. And so I wanted to get Ed's perspective because Ed also kind of came in like, Cyberpunk's not that bad. And while everybody was just, I mean, just unloading,
you always give a little more grace
on it. Yeah, Ed's got a lot more grace. So Ed, I'd love to hear in the face of everybody, do you even see what they're talking about, or are you unaware of even what's so bad about
I think it's like Cyberpunk in that all I can think is it's the PC side that's having this trouble. Because
you haven't seen
anything. I am having a great time with this game. I'm having it's basically someone in the chat said, "Oh, this is like Far Cry but with vampires." And
we like Far Cry.
It feels like it. Just like I watched today someone's review of the game, and they were talking about one of the complaints is how empty the world feels, and he showed like a fast forward. This is me. This is 2 minutes of footage fast forwarding through. I didn't see one enemy. You know, this is what the game looks like in the middle of the road. This is me walking up to a vampire and it doesn't see me. I'm walking around it in circles, and I see that it's happening for this guy. That has not been my experience. Today I left the safe house and there was a vampire out there waiting for me, and then one right behind him, and a third one after that. We've played Arcane games before, like Dishonored and Deathloop, so we know that they know how to populate a map with NPCs. This feels like an artistic choice. It takes place in an area that's abandoned and is pretty much overrun. Just only vampires are there. Some humans, but it's
intentional.
It's a deserted town. People have left. People have been killed, and if you're going in expecting Left 4 Dead or Days Gone or insert horde mode game here, that's not what this game is. And it seems to me like everyone I've talked to, and this isn't an exaggerated, everyone I've talked to, literally everyone I've talked to who has played the game, their thoughts have been, I don't get the hate. Where's this hate coming from?
Interesting.
And so it's, I did try playing with a friend, playing the co-op, and we got disconnected a couple of times. I don't know if it's because he was on PC and I was on PS5. I don't know if you're getting that if you're both on the same console.
Xbox.
Xbox. I don't know. I don't know if what the issue was there, or if it's just they're having trouble with co-op in general. That was my only bug, and so I'll just keep playing solo. And the first day I played for 4.5 hours, hopped in the next morning, wanted to play more. It's been nice to see people in our Discord that are playing the game saying, I am hooked on this game. This game is so much fun.
Really?
And so
that's great.
Is there a story there?
There's definitely a story. And it reminds me of Control, where they leave a lot of story beats in discoverable, like, papers, things like that you can pick up and read and get more of the lore, like you can in a lot of games. I genuinely do not get the hate. A review that Gabe, you actually linked to in our show notes, they only played on PC, and their office only played on PC from what I understood. And so again, I can't speak to the PC experience. I have talked to people who have played it on PC, and they've pretty much been, it might have gotten janky for a second here, but it's been fine, and I'm having fun. And it really, I don't know. We seem to be so, as soon as
spoiled,
not even spoiled, but as soon as we smell blood, we want to be part of it. We want to jump in and
mob mentality.
Just like, circle a bunch of sharks circling around, and we can't wait to tear into.
Ooh.
I don't know why. I genuinely don't get this is the end of Xbox. What was Arcane doing? Maybe it's on the PC side. That's all I can think. But I'm genuinely perplexed that I'm enjoying it. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it that I'm talking with. I really do not understand don't play this game. It's not even worth it on Game Pass. I don't know. Judge for yourself. If you play it and you don't like it, that's fine. But don't.
And it is free on Game Pass. It is on Game Pass.
Is that what you just said? If you play it and don't like it, that's fine. It's everyone's got their own taste. But
I think what people are worried about is somebody brought up some of the kids these days don't remember the heyday of the Xbox 360 when it looked like Microsoft was going to take over the console landscape because they were just whooping up on the PlayStation. They said, so if you started playing Xbox One and now the Series consoles, they feel like Microsoft hasn't come with it with the first party games. And so they say Redfall makes them scared for Starfield, which is going to be the other big flagship. And they're like, if both fail, then what does that mean for Microsoft and their first party games? And what does it mean for Game Pass in general? Does it mean that Game Pass is just a bunch of mediocre games, or does it, because I think Microsoft people want the Xbox to have its heyday again. And it just feels like every decision, like even with you, Ed, you were saying like, I mean, glad they bought Bethesda, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't play those games. And so I think that's what people are worried about. And so they are maybe jumping on it a little quick because they're like, okay, here's your next thing. That's supposed to be awesome, and it's not.
I don't remember when Prey came out, it getting the praise that it gets now. I feel like now people are like, look, Prey was awesome. And in my head, I genuinely don't remember people saying that when it came out.
They didn't.
I don't remember that either. But it had a bunch of
things. It was kind of like a slow burn. I feel like it was a slow burn. Kind of thing.
And so it's funny to hear Prey used so often as far as like, what are their classics? And I don't know I don't think of Prey. I think of Dishonored. But I don't necessarily, Prey was fine, but it's kind of, where were you singing the virtues of Prey when it dropped rather than
that's right. And so you didn't feel like this article talks about a boring play loop. They say if you can get past the boring gameplay loop, then the performance is the final nail in the coffin for Redfall. They say if you play on the Series X, you'll notice the game is stuck at an unsteady 30 frames per second. Now I know me and you aren't super sensitive to that, but I know Chris is. But obviously Chris didn't play it. But did you feel like the gameplay loop was boring?
Do you feel like liberating outposts over and over again in Far Cry is boring? Do you feel like it's like every game has its
subjective
thing that it does over and over again? And either you like it or you don't. But I some of these vampires
it just seems like this is getting pooped on a bit more than regular.
Like some of these vampires they move really fast. They are not easy to kill. And if it was populated, if it was a street full of those things, I'd get slaughtered every time. You don't have to have, it's kind of like that thing of, would you rather fight a horse-sized mouse or 50 mouse-sized horses or something like, it's just, I don't know.
Well, and Days Gone, I feel like had a slow grow as well. Like it quietly made money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so maybe this could be something that quietly makes money. But I mean, if it's on Game Pass, I guess you never know.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's, I don't know if it's. Oh, I thought Schindler's List was going to be a crazy romp about college kids, and it wasn't. So I hate it. I don't know if it's a little bit of that. Like I thought this game was going to be this, and it isn't, and so I hate it. I don't know if it's us rejecting what we thought it was going to be, and then it's not that expectation.
Do you think that when you zoom back and you're playing it, do you feel like you're playing what the marketing materials told you it was going to be?
I thought the marketing material, I genuinely thought it was going to be primarily co-op. And that's what kind of made me hesitate. I love that I can play it on my own. And so I actually enjoy that. So really because usually if I'm interested in a game, kind of like you, Gabe, I go media blackout. So we kind of saw that first trailer. I was like, oh, it's a bunch of us. I thought we were the vampires. I didn't realize we were fighting vampires.
Gotcha.
And it's not. And I'm kind of glad that I can just go at my own pace, do my thing, and I don't know. I mean, I like Deathloop a lot better. It's not the best game in the world. I'm not blown away by it. It's not going to be my game of the year or anything, but it's not. Yeah. It's not, to me, it's not worth getting hammered.
Atrocious.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm glad.
But you know what? Good on you, man. Because if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. And that's the beauty of playing games, is that you probably want to listen to some people because I definitely listen to you guys and my peers because I know they know the kind of games that I like. And if Ed or if any of y'all said something, hey, Router, you have to play this, I'm going to do it. It took me a while with Overwatch, but I ended up doing it. And look what happened. I became a huge fan because you guys know that I like that style of stuff. So who cares? Yeah. Enjoy it. I'm glad you're loving it. That's awesome.